What's going on, everybody? This is Fred from 2 Credits Needed coming at you with episode number 1 of Was It Good? It's our bi-weekly review show of new retro games, the retro games of my generation. So the Xbox 360, original Xbox, PS3, GameCube, things of that nature, but it really just needs to sit at right around 10 years to qualify. For episode number 1, I wanted to do something special. I wanted to do a game that I knew was good. It had to be good to get to the places that it's been. But maybe the nostalgia goggles gave it a bit of a bump and kind of pushed it over the edge to the point of where it's now legendary. And that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So without further ado, was it good? Released in 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision. The game currently sits at a 9 out of 10 on Steam and a 94 on Metacritic, so to get there it had to have done something right. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a direct sequel to Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and is available on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, backwards compatibility on Xbox One, and the campaign remastered is available on the Xbox One and the PS4 natively. For my playthrough of the game, I played through on backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. A little bit of behind the scenes here, the game was composed by Lorne Belf, and the main theme is done by Hans Zimmer. Legendary Hans Zimmer made that opening menu theme. The game was also written by Jesse Stern and directed by Jason West. Overall, the game has some really strong points. The shooting is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Exactly how a first-person shooter should feel. And the build-up and the story pacing is great. Right up to the end, right when you get to that one point, if you know what I'm talking about, you already know what it is. We'll get there in a minute, but the build-up to that point is just immaculate and really kind of progresses and pushes that story forward. The game does have a few weaknesses. There is a couple of bugs that I ran into. One of them on the No Russian mission, where the mission wouldn't finalize, it wouldn't end because one of the characters got stuck on a door. That was a little weird. And also traversal in the game can be kind of wonky, moving around in certain spots, especially when you're getting shot at. It feels like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be able to just sprint across this open field, but you do pretty easily sometimes, and sometimes maybe you have to climb over a thing that's not easily seen, or there's a couple of spots that it just gets a little rough to move around. Overall, the story of the game is probably the strongest point of the game, so I'm going to go through it real quick. If you don't want to hear this part, you can go ahead and skip forward, but I'm just going to give you the quick rundown, the brief bullet points of how this game progresses. After killing Zakhaev in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, his second-in-command, Vladimir Makarov, begins a multitude of terror attacks targeting Western civilization. During one of those terror attacks, he frames an undercover CIA agent for a massacre at a Russian airport, and this causes a war between Russia and the US. Task Force 141, who you play as for most of the game, rescue Captain Price, your leader from the previous game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, from a Russian gulag, and he sets off on his revenge quest against Makarov. In order to give the United States a fighting chance against the Russians, Price sets off an EMP over the country and destroys most of the Russian technology being used against us. Task Force 141 then chases Makarov to 2 separate locations and the team is split, followed by which General Shepard, who is in charge of Task Force 141, betrays you in order to cover his tracks, that he is the one responsible behind the airport setup and is using the war to avenge his lost men to Zakhaev and become a national hero for defeating the Russians. On the other side of the world, Captain Price and Soap chase General Shepard and eventually put a knife through his eye to end the game. So that's the story. That's the condensed Spark Notes version of it, if you will. But that's not everything about the game I want to talk about. There's a couple other points that I want to get to, specifically about that No Russian mission. No Russian is truly a disturbing mission. The first time I played it, I guess I never really truly understood what was happening and what you're doing. The choice to shoot or not shoot somebody is actually difficult. They incentivize both ends for you, A, to shoot somebody, or B, to just voluntarily watch, but either way, that is terrible. The crying, screaming, people running, flailing around, it's just haunting. Also, the pictures of fighting through the US Red Dawn style is a fantasy for people who grew up watching those movies like I did, so seeing that play out in a video game is really something special. And probably one of the most terrifying things of this game is that these actions that are made are pretty reasonable in those kind of situations. If we, for whatever reason, were in a situation where all of these things happened, you could see leaders coming to these decisions, which just makes it even more terrifying. So overall, the story is great. I think it's paced well. It's scary in a realistic way. It's just a perfect action game. Some other side notes about the game. It has some really memorable lines, especially from General Shepard in his little video vignettes in between missions. Those are some classic Call of Duty.
Alongside the Russians, we should have known they'd hate us for it. History is written by the victor, and here I am thinking we'd won. But you bring down one enemy and they find someone even worse to replace him.
Another great thing is the Spec Ops missions, the 3-star missions. Surprisingly difficult. I don't remember them being that hard, but as soon as I started playing them, man, it was like the wheel started spinning, everything was back to normal, and nothing ever left. I was back in 2009 in a heartbeat. Sadly, the multiplayer for this game is dead. At least on the Xbox, it's dead, but my nostalgic remembrance on that one's enough to keep me fulfilled for now. This game is definitely worth a replay. Definitely worth remembering. That's the whole reason this show is to remember these games, remember how good they were, and give them another shot. Especially right now with the campaign remastered on PS4 and Xbox One, this game is super accessible, super easy to get into, so go ahead and give it a shot. That's it for episode 1 of Was It's Good? Short, sweet, simple, to the point. This game is worth it. If you like this video, you guys know what to do. Hit the thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe, notifications, all those things. Let me know what you want to see next, what game you're thinking of, and I will see you guys next time.